It's not absolute when you appraise a house and put a price tag on it. The property market is no different to any other market. It fluctuates daily. So because of this silly pricing strategy, I mean, I get it. It worked in 1980 before the internet. That is the wrong strategy. Then trying to get someone up £50,000, 10% more once they've viewed it is really hard. What you're better off doing, the only person that can tell you what your house is worth is someone who wants to buy it. So welcome back to the channel. Now in this video, I want us to do a deep dive in pricing your house for sale. I see so many sellers and estate agents making so many mistakes when it comes to correctly pricing your house. Now, I'm not talking valuation placed on the house. I'm talking about strategically pricing to achieve the best price in the market. So let's kick off. I'm going to go through three things. And the first one is pricing to entice. Entice. You can't read that. My writing's terrible, but you get the idea. The only goal when pricing your house is to get inquiries. There is absolutely no relevance to the price you attach to it and the price the house is worth. We'll come on to that in a minute. What I mean by that is pricing to entice means that you need to market competitively, make it look great value, get the inquiries, so your estate agent can do what you're paying them to do and negotiate the highest price for you. What I see happen a lot is people pricing based on what they want for the house. That is the wrong strategy. Let's say you have valuations by estate agents that come in around 480, 500, 520, 530. Remember, estate agents are trying to win the business as well. So it's likely they are going to price high to impress you, win the business, tie you into a long contract. There's another video on the channel about long contracts. Avoid them is the basic advice, and they'll work the price down. What you need to do is make sure their strategy is to achieve maximum inquiries so they can then negotiate you the highest price. That's their job. An estate agent's job isn't to get a buyer, it's to get you the best outcome. And that usually means multiple offers from multiple buyers so you can choose the one that you want to roll with based on each offer and their individual merits, their buying position, yada, yada, yada. There's loads of advice on the channel about that. So firstly, price to entice. What do I mean by that? So let's say you carry out your research, you feel your house is maybe worth 5 to 520. Do not market at 525. Biggest mistake people make is they think, well, I'll go at 525 and I'll take a bit of an offer. Give me some options to negotiate down. You should go to the market with the intention of negotiating up only. So then you would say, well, fine, guide price 500. Get the interest, get the offers, best and final offers, competing offers, get the best outcome. Now, when pricing your house, there's three different ways you can do it. 3 or 4, actually. There's an asking price, which most people tend to use in this country. Asking price, number 1. You've got a guide price, like I just mentioned, guide price 500. All you're saying there, right, is based on all the research carried out, and we'll talk about research in a minute, we're going to guide price this house, our house, in the market at 500. It could go for 510, 520, 480, 490. You need to put it to market to then discover what it's worth. The house isn't worth 530 because you're buying a bigger house down the road and you need it to be worth 530. It's worth what it's worth based on what else other buyers could buy for a similar amount of money. Hopefully I'm making sense. Then you've got a price bracket. I would massively advise you to avoid this strategy. Price bracket is where it's like 500 to 550, right? By the way, I've been told people with terrible handwriting is a sign of intelligence. Hopefully that is true. Price bracket is a really bad strategy because obviously you're going to market it at 500, right? And then in the description, somewhere down the bottom, it's going to have the price bracket. All buyers see, really, is 500. Then trying to get someone up £50,000, 10% more once they've viewed it is really hard. What you're better off doing is doing a guide price in that instance of 525. Nicely in the middle. Could go higher, could go lower, but you're not misleading anybody. The other one is offers. I'm not going to write that out because that's too long. Offers in excess of. That's where you market it at 500. Offers in excess of. We use that a lot at Power Bespoke. but it's very market dependent. So currently, in the market we're in, we're only using, and this is part of our strategic move to help clients move in this tougher market, higher interest rate market, we're only using guide price. Offers in excess of, we've had buyers contact us to say, I saw the house, it was offers in excess of 500, my budget's 495, didn't bother viewing. That's a really bad thing, because you may well consider 495 if they're in a really strong position. So price to entice. The second thing that I see people make this mistake, go on Rightmove right now, not right now, finish watching the video, then go on Rightmove, then do a search for properties between 400 and 500. You're going to see, I would probably say 25 properties priced at 499,950. That is the biggest mistake you could make as a seller. And if your estate agent suggesting you do that, you must sack them immediately and find one that understands marketing in 2025. Let me explain. Remember I said at the start of the video, we're going to talk about strategic pricing. Here's what happens. 499,950. And you're thinking, oh, great, my house is on at 499,950, just under 500, which means it's not really 500, but it is 500. Then what a buyer's going to do, they're going to go on Rightmove. We're in 2025. Pretty much all buyers. They're going to go on Rightmove and they're going to go, I'm looking for a 4-bed house between 500 and 550 is the search parameters they're going to put in. Where's your house? It's not there. Because for the sake of 50 quid, you're being missed by the people searching from 500 to 550. And guess what? Those people are the ones that have got the budget to spend or pay 510, 520, 525. So because of this silly pricing strategy, I mean, I get it. It worked in 1980 before the internet because you're thinking, oh, I'm just under 500. People will inquire and make me an offer. You don't want an offer. You want to be on the market at guide price, 500, and you want to take offers higher, because you want to be captured by the people looking up to 550. Hope that makes that point clear, because that is so, so important. And to this day, I see agents advising this strategy, and it is the worst strategy ever. So even if you're 475, my advice potentially would be to market a guide price 500. And that leads on nicely to the next tip, which is you have to price at the pricing trigger points, as we call them. So on Rightmove, you'll go on there and you'll see that it will go 300 to then 325 and 350. And as pricing gets higher, the bands and the brackets get smaller. So the higher up the market you go, you might only be able to search between 600 and 650. So you've got to be really conscious of your pricing strategy around that. You might decide to be offers in excess of 600 rather than 650 guide price. All depends on how quickly you want to sell, the market around. And that leads on nicely actually to my next point, pricing advice. You have to price based on the market at the time. Now, the property market is no different to any other market. It fluctuates daily. And what I mean by that, let's say you met a few estate agents. They have to prove, by the way, and if they don't do this, you should insist they do. They have to show you how they've arrived at the advice that they're giving you. Not just, oh, this is a nice house. I look around. Well, I think, 600. It has to be based on comparable evidence, recent sales, recent successes, what's currently for sale on the market, how long that's been in the market for. There's loads of things that an agent should take into account when giving you the right advice. But when it comes to setting the correct marketing price and strategy for your house, now remember I said at the start, this isn't based on valuation. You would have arrived at the hopeful or the suggested valuation. The only person that can tell you what your house is worth is someone that wants to buy it. So not you, not 5 estate agents trying to pitch and win the business. It's the people that come through the door. They're the ones that are going to tell you what it's worth by making serious formal offers. So when it comes to pricing, you need to make sure that it's based on what else is available at the time. What I mean by that is if you've put a nice, let's say your neighbour's selling their house, right? It's very similar houses, but you've extended your kitchen. Let's say your neighbour is on the market at 550, but you've got a bigger kitchen. So you think, oh, mine's at least 575, if not more. So I'm going to price mine at 575. But if your neighbour has been on the market for 4 months, it's very likely they're not going to achieve that price and they're going to reduce the price. So when they reduce to 525, all of a sudden, you're hugely overpriced. And what's actually happening now is that the price of your house is justifying the buyer to go and buy the other one. So the market fluctuates, right? So you have to look, houses get added to the market every day, they get reduced every day, they get withdrawn every day. So just because 2 months ago your estate agent said your house we feel is worth 500,000, things change. If all the houses that your agent was comparing you to in that time have come off the market or reduced or gone under offer, or back then there were 5 houses similar to yours for sale, now there's 1. These things all matter on what you should be expecting to achieve for your house. So the kind of advice here is it's not absolute when you appraise a house and put a price tag on it. I've had clients come back to me to say, oh, you came around to see my house 6 months ago and said it was worth 600. I'd like to go ahead, please. And I said, oh, whoa. We need to reappraise the market. That was 6 months ago. It could be more now. It could be less. It could be the same. We need to reappraise it. And we need to do that weekly as well. So continual review of the marketing is really, really important. Hope that helped. My scribbles were scribbles, but hopefully I got the message across that pricing your house for sale strategically is really important. It will make or break. 70% of your interest in your house is going to come in the first 4 weeks of marketing. You haven't got a second chance to launch on the market. You've got 1 chance for that. Get it right. Guide price it. Don't overprice it. You cannot undersell your house. So I totally understand estate agents are very trusted. And there's a reason for that, because a lot of them are very dodgy and out for themselves. Watch Panorama. But as long as your agent puts a full marketing campaign in place for a good 2 to 3 weeks before any offers are considered, you can't undersell your house. Because you launch the market, it'll be all over the world, in essence, via Rightmove. Go through buyer databases, social media. Hopefully a nice video will be put on YouTube, so the YouTube algorithm will pick it out. After that 3 weeks, if the best offer you've got on your 500 grand house is 495, it's very likely it's worth 495, but it's also very likely that do it right and you could have 515 offer on the table as well. So price it well, stick to these rules, I guess, round number pricing, price to entice, guide price, price based on the market today, not yesterday or tomorrow, and get a good outcome. Hope that helps.